Character styles are a helpful way to apply the same text formatting to many labels at the same time and be able to edit this collective format later in the design process. It's especially useful when you want to create several text formats that are based on each other with just a few tweaks changed for each level of a label hierarchy. For example, we'll make character styles to help us label our 3 levels of cities. So here you can see we have under our labels sublayer these different sublayers for cities of different levels. The cities 0 through 1 are our largest cities. So I'm going to open up that caret and just select one of them. There's Palma, and it's over here on this island. I'll zoom in on that island so we can see it a little bit better. If I open up my character panel, I can change the text of that to, let's say, Garamond, and we'll make it just a little bit larger because it's one of our larger cities. So we'll make it maybe 12 points. And at some point, you'll probably have to go back and play with the position of these labels. You can see that this label is no longer tucked to the corner of that symbol. It's now stretched over it because it started at this end and it expanded. We won't worry about that for the time being. We're just focusing on styles. So now that we've set the character styling for one of these labels, let's make a character style out of that we can apply to all of the labels in this city 0 through 1 sublayer. So to do that, I'm going to come up to the window menu here and down to type and open up the character styles panel. And you can see that it has one character style that it's calling normal character style, and there's a little plus next to it. And what the plus refers to is the fact that we've changed that character style. We've added something different to it. Probably changing it from Arial to Garamond was what prompted that plus, but we could have changed the size or the kerning or the leading or any sort of feature of the way that that text is styled. And we're going to make a new style off of that sort of edited normal character style just by clicking this create new style. So now we have a character style 1 that we can name whatever we want. Let's go ahead and double click on it. So we open up this little dialog that lists all the features of that character style 1. It has a 12-point font. It's Garamond. You can see its leading and kerning attributes. And we'll call that large cities, because that's the character style we're going to use for those features. And now all we have to do to apply that large cities character style to all these other labels is just select that entire sublayer and then click on large cities. And if we zoom out here, you should be able to see that those large city labels have been changed so that they reflect that character style. So you can see that all of these other large cities are now Garamond and they're all 12-point font. So now we'd like to create a second character style for our medium-sized cities. Before we do that, let's deselect, just by clicking in the white area out here, all of our large cities so that we don't affect them at all, and I'm just going to lock that sublayer. So instead of going back to our normal character style, I'm just going to build off of this large cities character style by dragging it down to this new character style button down here, the page with the corner that's folded up, and that'll create a large cities copy. If I double click on that, I can come into its dialog box and change its name to medium cities. And then if I come over to this basic character formats item on the menu over here, that'll allow me to change some of that formatting. So let's change the size to 10 points and click OK. And that'll update this profile of this medium cities character style so that it uses a 10-point font. So to apply that to our medium cities, again, all I'm going to do is come and click on that sublayer to select all of the labels in that sublayer. And then I should just be able to click once, maybe twice, in order to set it into that. I'm still a little bit confused as to why you sometimes have to click once or twice for that to happen, but just make sure that you see it being applied to that sublayer. And you can see that now all of these cities 2 or 3 labels are a little bit smaller than the cities 0 or 1. The important thing is that if we decided at some point that we wanted that style to be slightly different, all we'd have to do is come back into medium cities here in the character styles panel, double click on it, go into this basic character formats or any of these other formatting options, and then let's say that we wanted it to be bold, we could just change that. And even as we change it within this dialog, you can see that it's already updating the way that the characters look in these labels. Go back to regular. And then we'll probably want to make a third character style for small cities. So we'll copy that again, change the name, and just make the character size a little bit smaller. Now you can see why I originally had deselected and then locked that layer that I was working on, because when I made the new character style for small cities, I still had the medium cities selected, and it automatically applied that new character style to those medium cities and applied those changes. So I'm going to, while I have all these medium cities selected, go back and reapply that medium character style. I'll lock that layer, grab the small cities, and then apply that small cities character style. So now we have three different levels in our label hierarchy here. We have small, medium, and large cities that are all labeled by different sized font.